Good evening. Today I'll be talking about questions from the past papers of taxation law. Question 1. Define a tax. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of direct and indirect tax. A tax is a mandatory payment of a charge collected by a local state or national government from an individual or business to cover the cost of general government's services, goods, and activities. We pay taxes because governments not sell products or have profit. So the only way to fund services is by asking us to pay taxes on the money we earn, the things we buy, and the things we own. Taxes allow for projects and services like roads and infrastructure like roads, education, just to name a few. Advantages of direct tax. Social and economic balance. The government of India has launched a well balanced tax slab based on the size and earning and age of an individual. Higher productivity. As there is a growth in the number of people who work to return, the returns on the direct tax is much higher. Disadvantages of direct tax. It's pinching. The fact that direct taxes must be paid in one lump sum even more pressures the taxpayer because they have to pay the direct tax in one shot. Therefore, it pinches them a lot. It's inconvenient. Convenience doesn't apply to direct tax like income tax returns or wealth tax. Therefore, people do not like to pay direct tax. Also, it's narrow based. Direct tax have a very narrow base. Indirect tax. Advantages of indirect tax are very convenient. Indirect tax are convenient as far as changing them is concerned. Indirect tax cannot be evaded because the indirect tax cannot be evaded because they are part of the price of the commodity. Therefore, so that whenever you buy a commodity, you indirectly pay indirect tax. Disadvantages of indirect tax. Indirect tax raises the price of the commodity. Sellers cannot always calculate and collect the exact fraction of the tax that is applicable on all commodities that they sell. Hence, they consciously charge more than the tax amount so that the consumers pay the tax. Indirect tax doesn't raise the civic consciousness. It is because they are paying a tax because it's hidden in the commodity price. Therefore, people are forced to pay indirect tax. Question 2. Explain the significance of the 101st Amendment of the Constitution. The process of simplification of indirect tax system was achieved by introducing goods and service tax by the 101st Constitutional Amendment. Significance of the Act. So, subsumes various indirect taxes. All taxes such as service tax are subsumed under GST, thereby signifying the taxation in India. Reduced compliance burden. Calculation of tax has become very easy under the GST regime, thereby reducing the burden of compliance of paying tax. Simplifying tax administration. Redundancies and duplication of the profit and the efforts have been greatly reduced. Increased ease of doing business. Taxation in few states and certain types can be used to be cumbersome process, which can now be transferred only through the 101st Amendment of the Indian Constitution, that is, Amendment of GST. The Act and Federalism. The Act came into with the provision wherein the state were compensated for any loss they incurred due to the implementation of the GST. Increased revenue due to GST has ensured more finances for both unions and the state government, helping develop more infrastructure. Interstate barriers to trade have been greatly helped with the ease of doing business across the states. Thank you.